Call to order. Will you first please join us in the salutation of the flag?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So please let the record show that Supervisors Cassiola, Fisher, Schrader, Calvin, and Johnson are in attendance. In addition, Manager Don Januso, Chief of Police John Bogovinsky, Public Works Director Bill Wadsworth, our Director of Zoning Bruce Bosley, Township Engineer Dan Dazaroff, and our Attorney Solicitor Chris Walls. This time, I know you're aware, and I'm still mentioning it again for agenda items. If you see something on the agenda you'd like to comment on or question about it, please feel free at this time. If it's just a general township comment, we have time reserved at the end of the meeting for that. And even before we even start on that, I'm going to read something out of our Township Association newsletter. Supervisor Johnson was just talking about this, about how important communication is, not only amongst the board members, but with our public. And it talks about in the question and answer period. And this comes, the solicitor for the association answers these questions. And it says, may supervisors communicate among themselves via email. It says, this is strongly discouraged. Township supervisors should be careful not to directly communicate with each other via email, text, or even phone call, particularly if the message relates to any issues that are or may be before the Board of Supervisors, and the message is sent to a quorum of the board. If any of these communication methods meet this criteria, they may violate the Sunshine Law's requirements that the board deliberate such issues at public meetings, and an email or text would create documentation of a potential violation. I mention that because I know there are times it looks like the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, and I mean it's the Sunshine Law was created to try to keep the secrecy from the public. But it seems like it's really hampered the board just in trying to make normal decisions for the best of the township. So there are times we might not talk all month, and I just want to tell you that's the kind of the reason behind it. I think when you were talking about communication, how everybody needs to communicate to make a better presentation and keep the public informed. On one hand, that makes sense, but then the law is apparently trying to tell us something different. So if you see that, it seems like we're talking for the first time, it probably is. All right, so if anybody sees an item on the agenda, please feel free to come up and comment on it or question it. Again, we will have time shortly. It's a pretty short agenda, so we'll get to general public things shortly.
We have until 7:30, and nobody has any comments on the agenda. Let's take up some of the other issues that residents might be here for.
We will.
From now until 7:30.
We will. We have a time for that. We also, if you've all gotten copies of the agenda out front, there's announcements. I don't look like you can read them. I'm not going to read those. Our business items for resolution number 161, 2015, we have to consider that payment number 2 for the 2015 pavement maintenance program in contract B in an amount of $85,973.08. Is there a motion to that effect? I guess, Dan, I know you reviewed these payment requests.
Yeah, we've, Joe's here tonight. Joe Seitz is the project manager on the project, but yes, we've reviewed the applications and are recommending that, and we've given the board correspondence to that effect. Joe, you want to give the board a quick update on the payment?
1 minute. Tony, I thought we were going to let our residents speak from 7 to 7:30, since 5 minutes have gone by.
We've tried that, and it ended up being better that the residents who don't want to sit through that have a chance to leave and they can hear the township business carried on. So no, that's what was changed. We tried that for 2 years, and it just became chaotic. Joe? Sure. You might as well do A and B while you're up there, even though it's not an agenda or on our motion yet.
Yeah, contract A was our water contract. That's the one that included King Road. And
So that work, the work here on the township parking lot is currently underway, as you see out here. There's work going on. They're going to do seal coating tomorrow. They're going to do scratch on Thursday, and then they'll be back on Monday to pave the parking lot. The parking lot will be completed then. Contract B, that's the liquid fuels contract. That took care of streets in the FLIR plan and the Monaco plan. The FLIR plan is complete, and they were putting binder in the Monaco plan today. They'll be finishing that tomorrow. And then I can do the third one too, the Windsor Woods. Windsor Woods, that work's been completed up there. There's a couple of punch list items that Stuart needs to do, but everything's done up there with the remediation of the storm sewer and the stormwater detention basin.
That one was all out of the bond money.
That was all the bond money, Tom, yes.
Very good. Thank you, Joe.
Okay.
Any questions for Joe while he's up there on the progress?
No, I've seen some of the work that they've done. I've gone out and looked at some. Youngblood seems to be doing a good job for the township.
We're very pleased with the work we're doing, Andy.